Y'all have heard of Richard Nixon, right?
Did you hear?
Apparently he's up to some really shady things.
But you didn't hear from me.
Hey, whoa.
Oh. What's up?
I'm brain dead.
Brain dead.
Brain dead. Brain fire.
What's gonna fire you up today, Lily? You want to debate something? You want to argue?
Let's
Kinda.
do it.
You want to?
Do you want to hear something crazy
Let's hear something crazy.
that I discovered today?
Guys, should we hear something crazy right
Tell
now?
me.
You guys, have you heard of? Just kidding. I'm not doing that.
Please do the first intro with that.
Well, let me just do this first. The podcast Anthony recommended,
Yes.
High Strange.
Yeah.
Scary.
Pain.
So good. It is so good. Everyone go listen to it, but it's insane, and the people that he interviews will shake you to the core. But remember when we joked about him being an alien?
Yeah.
Let me show you this picture of him.
Oh. Oh.
This
Eyes are this big.
this is Payne Lindsay.
Yeah.
Payne Lindsay.
Yeah. Skinwalker.
You see him?
I mean,
Do you know what he looks like?
he looks familiar.
Angel
Yeah, an angel.
from The Knowing.
Oh no way!
He literally does.
That's so funny.
Like dead on.
He hasn't aged a day. Good for him.
And they don't call them angels in The Knowing, but
No.
they're like aliens.
Yeah, yeah. That's funny. I had
my
no.
gosh.
That's hilarious. This is the first time you saw him.
Yeah.
So who is he on there? Is he the guy that's telling the story?
Yeah,
he's the host.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
And he's
Interesting. Controlling the narrative.
Really, I need a snack.
You want some? We have some bagels. We have some Bucky snacks. Hey, thank
Hey,
you.
let's do that.
We've had these in.
beaver nuggets.
Yes.
They might be stale. We had some people send us some Bucky snacks and some other snacks that are really healthy. But they've just been in here for a while now. We're just now mentioning. So thank you so much for those. Appreciate it.
This is a risk.
Do we remember the name?
There's milk in it.
Read the contains
Contains.
versus cross contamination risk. Feeling dangerous today.
Says milk.
Thank you so much to Cody and Jesse Stevens, David and Eva James. You guys are literally
Yay.
keeping us fed. The beef jerky.
Yeah, you're giving Lily brain food.
Dude, can we get sponsored by Bucky's?
That would be pretty cool.
Bucky's first podcast?
That would be really cool.
Let's do it.
But High Strange.
Yes.
He goes into the first episode, leading into the second episode. Have you listened to it? Yeah, you have.
I've listened to half of them, I think. Yeah.
So he talks about this. He interviews this guy who was abducted.
Okay.
And it's one of the most believable stories.
Yeah.
Because this dude, nothing to gain, but he talks about in the interview, it's messed up his entire life. Like this dude was like that. Those like hard working men. That was a logger. And he was
Just blue collar guys.
Yeah.
Normal blue collar guys.
His voice is so gravelly.
Yeah.
when you listen to it.
Yeah, like you've seen this dude before. This is not a dude that's
came out of the woods.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, so he talks about they're driving down, this UFO appears out of nowhere through the woods, and he was with 6 other guys. I'm just gonna say it real quick because you gotta go listen to the podcast. High Strange. Start from the oldest one too. Tells the guys to stop. He pulls over. He gets out of the truck to be like, I want to see it before it takes off.
Because he sees this absolutely like glowing UFO floating through in the forest.
A pale blue dot.
He said it was metallic and goldish.
That's the first episode.
Oh.
The second episode is where he's being interviewed.
Oh.
But he gets out, he runs over, and all the buddies in the truck, they're also loggers. They're coming back from a job.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, get back in the truck. What are you doing? And a light beams down on him from this metallic thing. And they described it as, it was like he was electrocuted and like went up like 30 feet in the air. And they freaked out and like drove off. And they went into town, or they're going into town.
They stopped because they're like, we have to go back for our friend.
Yeah, so they stopped on the way into town, turned back. He wasn't there. They go back, reported it instantly to the sheriff, and then it was a 3-day manhunt search for this dude.
And they're immediately under suspicion for murder.
Yeah.
You would have to be.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But it's like, why would these guys instantly go? So it was like this whole thing.
Right.
But the guys are like, they agreed to take the polygraph test.
Pass it.
They said, you can either even inject us with truth serum.
Dude.
We have that?
I don't know.
Can you imagine
There's
the
some,
moment?
yeah,
What
there's
is
some
it?
stuff like that.
Whiskey?
When you're investigating that though, and you're reading the polygraph live, and then you realize in that moment they're not lying.
It happened in Arizona, and they got like the official polygram reader of the state of Arizona to conduct it. 5 of them were they were telling the truth, and one of them was inconclusive.
But it's like, what do they have to gain to lie?
Exactly.
Like, they have nothing to gain. There's no reason for it.
Except for covering up a murder.
5 days later, he reappears.
Exactly. That's right there.
5 days later, he reappears. He had lost 10 pounds and his beard was growing in. He thought he was only gone for an hour. And then he tells the story of when he was on this craft. He woke up. He thought he was in the hospital because he thought he just got electrocuted and like went unconscious. He woke up. He's laying on like this metal table and there's a light above him. He said, but it wasn't bright. It was just, but it hurt to look at. And then his eyes were fuzzy and he saw what he thought were doctors around him. Vision cleared and they were aliens. He just described them as creatures with no hair and big eyes. Instantly freaked out, rolled off the table. There was something strapped to his chest, ripped it off, threw it away, backed up. And he said it was hard to breathe. And he said he was in so much pain and like he was screaming and crying because he was so terrified. And then like the creatures like left the room and then like he said it looked like a human walked in and he thought he was like being saved or whatever. And he's like, oh, thank goodness. And the human didn't say anything and brought him into another room. And there was more human-like people. And they grabbed him and started putting him down on the table. And he said he was, with all his strength, he was trying to get away. He said, but they were so strong, it was like I was doing nothing. They put me down, they put a mask over me, and then I woke up on the ground in the woods.
And so he could see the light.
Oh, yeah, and then he saw the light, and he said he saw it take off. That thing was gone. And I was just like, bro. And so he went into town, and he was basically, he didn't want to even tell the story because it's like, it's not believable. But he's like, and so Lindsay was like, or Payne was like, well, what do you think when people think your story is crazy? He's like, I don't care. He's like, think whatever you want. He's like, I know it sounds crazy, but I know what I went through.
Jeez.
And then I saw this other thing today, this old video from Unsolved Mysteries. Mm-hmm. And it was this whole thing about these 4 dudes that like hard dudes that were out just being boys and camping.
Yeah.
And they have this story of how they were abducted.
Oh, man.
And they it's like they literally described the same thing.
Weird.
And they talked about this thing that there was placed on their chest and like these humanoid things and like it was there, but they had them they like hypnotized the guys after to hear them recount their stories. And it was their stories all matched up and it was the most terrifying thing ever.
Oh my gosh.
So that's cool,
you
right?
You only told that story to Andrew.
I know, because he was looking at me with like such interest. I was locked in.
It's such a scary podcast to listen to because it's produced so well. The sound engineer, like just the effects that they have into it, it just gives you the willies. Like it's absolutely just. Ugh,
but
man,
this is even crazier.
What?
I just wanted it to be a segue into alien stuff.
Okay.
Here we go.